Hello, this is Pavel. In your system, you've got a lot of topics, different streams of data, but what would you do when you want to receive only streams from the part of your system? In DDS, you've got two choices. You can separate your global data space to different domains, domain 1, domain 2, and only the application which belongs to the same domain can receive data. Or you can use partitions, and this video is about partitions. So, take a look at this. What are DDS partitions? DDS partitions can help you separate the domain to logical separated parts. All right. So you can send and receive data only to part of your domain. So why would you like to do that? You can do that for different reasons. For example, you can control data delivery, because when two applications belongs to same partitions, they exchange data. Otherwise, they don't. You can use partitions to separate your applications based on location. You can receive data only from let's say, temperature sensors that belongs to only one building, and because you are not interested, you are not interested about temperature from different or next building. You can use it for access control. For example, some data are only for director. Let's say, maybe for access control, you can use better the security plugins. And it can be purpose-based. For example, if you have some military system, you can send data only for example, for simulation or exercise or some operation. So you can divide these data to different parts of your system based on purpose. But what are the partitions? The partitions are, it is QoS. And you can set this QoS for publishers and subscribers. All right. So you can see here, I've got two shapes demo, and I can publish a square. All right. From one, I can publish a square. All right. And in the second application, I subscribe to a square. All right. They exchange data. Why it is? Because every publisher and every subscriber belongs to some partition, and the default partition is an empty string partition with the name empty string. So if I create a publisher and I do not specify any partition, it doesn't matter, because he is still in partition with empty string. All right, now I can create a partition, the publisher in partition A. All right. So when I do that, I can subscribe, and when I do not choose any partition and I am in the empty string partition name, nothing's happened, because I do not receive data from publishers that belongs to partition A. All right. The partition names can be any string. You can use up to 64 names. So the publisher can send data to different partitions. For example, when I create partition, I can choose he published to ABC, and when I subscribe to D, nothing. When I subscribe to C, All right, I start to receive data. All right, and the maximum length of name of the partitions is 256. This can be configured to be more, but you have to configure it on all your systems in the same way. So the default partition is empty string. I've talked about it already. So how application match each other based on partition names? It's based on string comparison. So when I choose A, I need on the publisher side, I need to choose A on the subscriber side. But I can also use irregular expressions, which are defined in fnmatch. So I can, for example, subscribe to any other partition that is not empty string. All right, I receive the data. So what can I do with such an ability or capability? I can write data, for example, for temperature in the building, and the building 1 has floor 1 and has other different floors and has several rooms in every floor. So when I have 2 rooms in floor 1, I can publish topic temperature to these partitions. Temperature from room number 1 will have this partition, and the temperature from room number 2 will have this partition. And when I want to read, for example, from all the temperature from all the rooms in the floor 1 in building 1, I can use this partition with the asterisk operator as a regular expression, or I can choose to have all temperatures from all buildings from the floor 1. All right, so you can see that I can emulate the hierarchical structure for my data. So let's move on. I've already said that publisher and subscriber can be in more partitions at the same time. And what is really important, and it's like a game changer, because I can change the partition dynamically. Through the run of your system, you can change it. You can have some use case that you don't have to change the partitions, but you can have some use cases that you want to change the partition names. What you need to be aware of is when you change the partition during your system run, the applications that wants to receive data even if they joined the system late, so late joiners, they receive all the historical data from the publisher, even though if he was in the different partition before the late joiner came into the system. So be aware of it. So this is the strong concept in the DDS. Because, for example, MQTT or IMQP doesn't have such ability or flexibility to separate the streams. Because in MQTT or IMQP, you have only topics. You can create a hierarchical structure in your topics, and then you can use regular expressions to subscribe only to the part of the streams. But here in DDS, it's you've got one topic, but you can separate it by partitions. So that's all about partitions. And if you are interested about more information about DDS, or you have some question about DDS, you can write me right under this video or on my blog or LinkedIn, pavelpohanka.cz. Bye.